Heyo!
Hello. Yeah.
Oi. Oi, mue. Back on mue.
I'm being aggressively attacked by cats.
So, typical Tuesday.
Way to go, cats.
So just another Friday for you, huh, Ray?
I mean, well, yeah, it's another Friday night for me, but at least my cats forgive me for taking them to the vet yesterday.
Gotta be careful with those Nekomata.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so tonight's presentation, or today, depending on when you're watching this, which is probably the afternoon, we are going to be reacting to a MagicMush video called The Internet's Annihilation of Amazing Artifacts. So, you guys watch MagicMush at all?
I have, yes.
I have not seen. I don't think I've seen MagicMush.
Which
Well,
one
you're
is that?
missing out on it, Sasha.
Yeah,
Is that the one where it's basically Harry Potter, but the protagonist is Saitama?
No.
Or oh wait, I'm thinking of Mashal, Muscles and Magic. Derp.
but,
MagicMush uses one of the Donkey Kong Country cartoon characters as his to represent himself, and he does a lot of Donkey Kong references and jokes.
Okay.
But yeah, MagicMush is basically a video essayist, and yeah, I actually got to start in reacting to his video on Andrew Dobson. Yeah, so yeah, he's definitely pretty entertaining. So this is your first time watching, then yeah, this is definitely going to be a treat for you. I also recommend his video on the fallen social media sites of old. I recognize quite a few of them, sadly.
I liked the Andrew Dobson video, and there was a couple of other videos of his I like. The Speedrunner Chibi was another one I liked.
Yeah, but MagicMush kind of didn't really like that video since it glazed over quite a few details. More specifically, his more infamous side of him, like him being a sex pest and ruining his own friendship with Big Al Rants.
Yeah.
But yeah, enough about that old drama. Let's get into this video.
Let's get into something silly.
And by silly, I mean infuriating.
Oh my. Cave painting.
I remember some of these.
The human race has quite the history.
Ah,
We have
hey.
history spanning back several hundreds of
Yeah,
thousands
you
of
remember
years,
pillaging
and for
some
the
of them.
most part, we're none the wiser to it. Someone could have died in the very same spot you're in right now, thousands of years ago, and you would have no clue. We don't really know what happened all those millennia ago, and the only real way we know our history is when we look at what they left behind for us to discover. They gave us
Well, our boss knows, but he only really complains about it.
Oh hey, the terracotta soldiers. I
Yeah,
was friends with some of them until the magic left the bodies and they were no longer able to move.
Wow. That's
yeah,
pretty
gotta enjoy the golems that just outlive empires. You actually have a mentor who outlived the Soviet Union, so that's
Wouldn't it have sucked if one of them still owed you money?
Yeah, I think the Fae kind of have a weird clause to get out of that. Apparently, it's been
Give them
a
all the
recurring problem with them and demon culture.
I feel like I'm on the verge of remembering something, and Ray just unlocked the almost unlocked a memory. Did one of the terracotta soldiers owe me money?
Well, not like it could do you any good either. Their regime changed like several times.
I got to see them.
Yeah, but if that
A brief
terracotta
window into what the
soldier
culture
actually
would have been
owed
like
Saratsu
back.
money, Saratsu could be rich. And we'd be able to afford... and then
That's
we'd
adorable.
be able to afford a coffee machine in the break room finally.
Yeah, it's
I brew
adorable.
my
You
own
think that
coffee.
money is actually worth something.
Look, one can hope.
I'll see if I can get us one of those Keurigs that has a coffee pot and a K-cup dispenser.
I got a ninja
I
like
already
that.
worked in what was their mindsets, a glimpse into a world that no longer exists. I say all this, and a lot of stuff in this video is from the 90s, but that might as well be a different culture at this point. In today's world, we have glowing
God, I
screens
feel
in our
old.
pockets,
Yeah.
something none of these ancient civilizations could have even dreamed of. But it also feels
You're
like
feeling
we
old?
don't really
I
have
feel.
as much of a regard for leaving something behind for future
How do you think
generations.
I
A
feel?
lot of people are focused on their
You still have your youthful looks.
Jealous?
And
Just wait until you have...
I don't really know if my boss actually expresses age.
Look, I'm just waiting for when Saratsu ages to the point where he finally grows old, gray, and wrinkly.
I think he just kind of forgets how to turn into a humanoid form whenever that happens.
Well, la-dee-da.
I'll just spend the rest of my days as a ten-tailed fox, just lounging in Otherworld. That'll be-
10K. I see.
That's the day when I'll finally retire.
Spoiler, Saratsu
right
will
now.
never retire.
As a big driver for a lot of people, especially online, is sweet, delicious internet points. Seeing those numbers go up for some
yes,
minutes of
fame.
fame, when in reality, these points have no
pillar
real
of
value in the
history.
real world. It's all held on extremely fickle servers and built on the foundation of toothpicks. All the numbers you built up over the years can all be undone by a few simple clicks. So what happens
Yeah, I
when
saw
these two
the
worlds
fall
collide?
on social media vault. Oh
You get
god,
cases
Redmond
where
jump
someone
scare.
discovers something that is one of a kind, or a part of history, they decide to post it online to just show it off to the world and get some internet points, which is fine in concept, but in some cases, they then decide to destroy said object. And this has happened far more times than you would think. So let's look at a couple cases. Ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen,
that's
I want
psyop.
to murder the... I want to kill the Stop Oil movement, but Victor won't let me.
Let me at him, Victor. Let me at him.
I think he's trying to wait for them to add more sins to the file for their Circle of Hell.
I mean, do they have to have a certain amount of sins to get to a certain circle of hell? Can't we just give them their own personal circle of hell?
Oh, they're
Can we-
already bound for hell. I guess he's just tallying the amount of sins to see how deep they'll go.
Yeah, it's
I
like
mean,
Vampire Survivors, except in reverse.
Okay, but, like, since they're anti-oil, like, wouldn't the perfect layer of hell just be them in crude? Like, no
There
fire,
is a-
no brimstone, it's just them swimming through crude oil for eternity.
In Dante's Divine Comedy, that there was a layer where sinners were dunked into a river of boiling tar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
kind of
they're
like
in a...
that.
That was the punishment he assigned to bad politicians.
So all
Wow.
politicians.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was especially
welcome to
Dante Alighieri was.
But yeah, let's
He
get
was
back to this
especially
before we get
spicy
distracted.
against- Yeah, fair
I'm
enough.
sorry, guys. I tried to escape them, but they finally caught me. Do you like role-playing games?
Oh,
Do you like
God,
strategic turn-based combat?
Oh, no.
Well,
No.
Raid Shadow Legends is a free-to-play AAA style
We
role-playing
can't
game
skip
available
it
on
either.
Android and
He
PC.
needs the
And it's currently
money.
celebrating its 7th year anniversary.
They would have
7
to
years?
pay
Oh, now
me
that's an artifact all
several
right. No wonder you
$100
couldn't
million
escape it.
to
If you
sell.
haven't got into Raid Shadow Legends before,
God
now's a better time than
damn
ever.
it.
If you download the game using my link in
And the
QR
worst
code
part
right
is that
now,
they
you
actually
can start
pay
earning
me
an
money
anniversary
out
package
than
worth upwards of
YouTube
$200. If you also use
We
my link
have
in the
to
promo code
endure this
RAID7,
shit.
you'll get the legendary champion Pelops the Victor, who is a
Gosh,
complete
there's a
tank of a
reason why
champion with magma
JonTron
abilities to rip
stopped
enemies
doing the
asunder.
Raid
If you don't
Shadow
want Pelops,
Legends
you can choose
ad.
one of 6 other champions instead, using the promo codes on screen. One of them being
if
Ultimate
Raid Shadow
Death Knight,
Legends
who has the
got
ability to
me,
track all
I
enemy
would not
attention and
give
take
it-
every hit for the
I would
party.
just do-
And he can
do
take
it in
quite a
the
bit of
most
abuse, so he's perfect if you need to take
boring-
attention away from your other party members.
Founded
I'm a fan of
performance
turn-based
ever.
RPGs, so of course Raid was appealing to me. With pretty great turn-based combat and role-playing elements mixed up your
God.
attack strategies, along with the layered
Like,
equipment
when
customization,
JonTron
and let me tell you,
even points
I
out,
couldn't even
like,
start
how
this game up for the
Raid,
anniversary properly
scammed
because they were
them.
giving me so much free stuff. I was clicking the free rewards
Why?
for like 3 minutes straight. It'll be especially helpful to new players like me. It was a big help. The free champion I picked was Sun Wukong because he's strong and he's a monkey, and I can relate. There's so much
What did
content in
they do
Raid,
to
you'll be
my
playing forever.
buddy?
Use the QR code on my link down below. You'll get the legendary champion Krogmar
Sun
instantly,
Wukong
alongside the epic
looks
champion Galapa the
hideous.
Recluse if you hit level 25. Not to mention Pelops using the promo
I've
code.
seen worse.
Here's to another 7 years of Raid
And so
and
is he.
7 more years of sponsorships. Raid Shadow Legends will never die.
I wish
yeah.
it would.
Remember what
I would do
when
it too.
Raid Shadow Legends, when someone asked Raid Shadow Legends, it's how they get their advertising, and they ultimately tried to gaslight people into thinking that they just did it willingly. Like, what was the
So,
point of lying about that? Everyone knew they were shilling them.
Wasn't there like a drama where Raid was exposed for not paying some of the people that did the advertisements for them?
Beats me, I
Was that
had
Raid
never
Shadow
played the
Legends, or
game.
was that Raid Shadow Legends or was that Honey?
Well, I know Honey had that scandal too, but I thought that there was like another scandal with Raid.
And when isn't there a scandal with mobile game apps? It's
Yeah.
just what they do.
All I know
mean,
is if it's a product that a lot of YouTubers are advertising, dollars to donuts, it is probably not that good.
I mean, the only app that I really played and actually got a good like money's worth out of was Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
Yeah. Though, in all honesty, yes, a lot of YouTube's ads basically just link to scams. Can you really blame them for taking the ads, considering that YouTube is notoriously bad with screwing over creators?
I mean, no, I don't blame
You're not
them,
wrong.
but like, I also understand why a lot of YouTubers also plug like their Patreon, their Ko-Fi, and other stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Or sponsors.
If only we got more people subscribing to our Ko-Fis.
Yeah.
To start us off with, to really get my viewers hooked in, we're going to talk about the most interesting thing ever. Rocks. Rocks are cool, aren't they? Well, the pretty ones you find in the caves are, but we're not talking
Yeah,
about
they're
those
pretty
rocks.
cool.
We're talking about the brown dusty ones you find in the desert. Whoopee. Okay, jokes aside,
Well, the rocks
there
we
is some
collect
merit
are
to finding
cool,
some rock
but
in the desert,
if only
especially if they're in
because
very
they're
specific
magic.
formations that you don't typically see. And that leads us
Cool,
to the state of
magical,
Utah.
haunted,
Yeah, in Utah, they got
possessed.
Salt Lake City and Mormons, lots of Mormons, and the rest of the state is known for rocks. But at the very least, they're very, very pretty rocks.
I think they're also becoming
It took
tech
several
bros, but
million years to get
that's
into the
another
shape they are
story.
today. Utah is very
Mormons
serious
are
about
fun.
the tourism
Utah
in
or
the
the
state,
rocks?
as it's one of the biggest sources of their
Utah.
income. They have so many parks in the state just
Okay.
dedicated to looking at the landscape.
We already
And
know
one of these
rocks
parks is
are
known
running
as Goblin
YouTube,
Valley.
so...
For some reason, they call all these weird mushroom-shaped rocks goblins.
Really? I thought it was like an AI bro.
It may not seem like much, but the fact these weird formations have been sitting here for millions of years and are shaped like this,
I made the
it's
joke
probably a treat to see
earlier,
them in person.
Magic.
But of course, you can take that into consideration. Sometimes these things are just all over. And in one case in 2013, someone decided to purposely make this happen. A group of Boy Scout leaders had traveled to this park to, look at the rocks, but they saw one in particular and thought it was going to fall at any moment to hurt someone, so they do the smart thing and decide to purposely topple this rock over to keep it from toppling over.
Yeah, that makes sense!
Wow, that makes a lot of sense.
We have now modified Goblin Valley. A new Goblin Valley exists with this boulder down here at the bottom.
Look at that. About 170 million years of erosion to create these structures, and it's all done in a matter of seconds by the living embodiments of America. They purposefully did this, recorded it, and then posted it online hoping people would hail them as heroes. And instead, the opposite happened. They got absolutely hammered online for this act. The people were not
As they
happy with
should.
them pushing over this rock, as well.
Yeah,
It was a part of
Yep,
nature.
as they
It was sitting there for
fucking
God knows
should.
how many million years, and these guys destroyed that in just a few seconds. They just didn't stop at that. Because when this popped up online, the state of Utah very quickly pulled out the felony charges for destroying their landmarks, and they also had their status as a Boy Scout leader stripped. It was also found out that one of the guys pushing the boulder was currently in the middle of a lawsuit
But it's
claiming
what
a
they
car
get
wreck had caused
for
him some serious
fucking
back injury.
assuming that
And well, if
it's
that were true,
fucking.
Oh, no!
Ah,
What they deserve.
what they deserve, the jerk.
So wait a sec. The guy that pushed over the rock was in a personal injury lawsuit, and God, how stupid do you have to be?
Friggin' tell me about it.
Very.
And-
Please tell me these guys were from Florida, because they seem dumb enough to be from Florida.
It doesn't seem like it.
Probably from California.
Nah, I don't think they
No.
could afford the trip. Not that any of
Yeah,
us want to go
but
to
they could
Utah.
No, but they can definitely afford to eat.
But
I am not sorry.
hey, dude, maybe you can lay it
yeah,
off the McDonald's.
that's adorable. Didn't actually think we could eat either.
Listen, dude. Maybe if you didn't eat at your namesake so much, you wouldn't weigh over 3,000 pounds and be as dumb as shit.
I just
What
noticed
the-
what his. I just noticed what his name was.
Eh.
how the hell could he have been able to do this? Honestly, I don't buy their excuse that this was to protect families in case this thing tipped over. I think this was actually just an excuse to make a viral video online of them destroying a landmark. And well,
it
they got their
worked.
wish, just not the way they probably expected. So this is a
Task
pretty
failed
cut and dry
successfully.
case. It's still over some rocks, but
I
just to
just
let you
noticed
know.
that they
We're
are
starting off with
California.
this one because
that
it's
guy's
the
wearing
least
a San
offensive.
Diego shirt.
It's only going to get more infuriating as we move
damn
forward.
Okay, this
I
one's
told you
actually
they
a
were
bit of a
Californian.
mixed.
Okay, so technically I'm cheating
Opinion.
with this one because it wasn't technically destroyed, but it might as well be. Really, I want to put this one on here because this one will make you want to tear your hair out. Well, if you have any. StarCraft. Considered one of, if not the best real-time strategy game of all time. I don't play real-time strategy games. This story takes us to everyone's
Average
favorite
of
hive of
empires.
scum and villainy, Reddit. A Redditor by the name of Chemist49
Yeah.
will post the
I
gameplay
grew
in
up
subreddit about the fact he had
playing
recently bought a box of stuff
games,
from
but
eBay
that's-
that used to
Of course
belong
this
to an
would-
ex-Blizzard employee.
course this
But
story
deep
would
within the
start with
recesses of the box,
frickin' Reddit.
he found a one-of-a-kind item. The Gold Master Disc of StarCraft. This disc contained the entire source code for the original StarCraft, which is basically the blueprints for the entire thing, how it works and what makes the game, the game. The source code for one of the most popular RTS games of
I'm
all
gonna be
time,
honest, I
and he
like
just found what...
StarCraft in those games. The older games were better. Newer games not so good.
Yeah,
It's the nice classics though, the fun ones.
yeah. Gotta remember, there was a time Blizzard didn't suck.
Yeah,
those
there
were
was
the
a time
days.
when Blizzard didn't suck. Those were the days. The days of Diablo 2, Warcraft 1, 2, and 3.
I mean, this was before Blizzard had hired on a sex pest for their CEO.
Fucking hell. Yeah, this was before then. I really
Yep.
wish they fucking hadn't. Fucking hotel rooms. Oh my fucking god.
Never
Time
forget the
flows
Cosby
in one
Suite.
direction. Can't change the past. Time
Made the
flows
game
a
possible
single
in a random
direction.
box. But the Redditor didn't really know what to do with this. I mean, you had the blueprints for one of the most popular PC games ever. Really, what do you do with this? Well, when he posted this on the Game Collector subreddit, he got a variety of mixed responses. One of the most common being, he should dump the source code online for the entire internet to use. As with this, they could rebuild and remake the game 10 times over in any way they possibly could. But it wouldn't really matter. As soon, it became clearly obvious it wouldn't really be up to him anymore. A lawyer representing Blizzard had gotten into contact with him, and he requested he give the disc back. He would ask around various places if he could be held legally responsible for this, but eventually, with potential threat of legal action breathing down his neck, he finally made the bold choice and decided to give the game back to Blizzard. Now, morally speaking, this was the right thing to do. It was their property, it belonged to them, and they wanted it back, and so they got it back. Case closed. However, this is a special case because in this one in particular, this source code probably would have been better off with the internet and the pirates. This case happened back in 2017, almost 9 years ago. And let me ask, what new StarCraft games have you seen?
No.
The fact of the matter is, Blizzard doesn't really seem to give much of a shit about StarCraft anymore. They're too busy running Overwatch into the ground over and over again. That's where the money is. Now, there is a new StarCraft game rumored to be in
money in it.
development as we speak. But according to reports, it's not even going to be a traditional
What
RTS,
money?
it's going to be a shooter. Because we don't have enough of those, right? And if you're wondering, no, this incident had nothing to do with StarCraft Remastered, as the remaster had already been announced a few months before this thing was found. This source code incident had no effect on the development of that. So they got their source code for one of the biggest games back, and they have proceeded to do nothing with it. You know what's going to happen? It's going to sit in Blizzard's archives, and it's going to sit there until it dies of disk rot.
Or they could just remake it with a ton of disappointing add-ons and then make the original impossible to re-download. Yeah, still mad about that.
I mean, this is Blizzard we're talking about, not EA.
Yep.
Where's the difference?
Yeah. But yeah, I always had mixed opinions on this story because, yeah, would you try and risk dumping the ROMs if you have lawyers breathing down your neck?
Probably
Honestly,
not a good idea.
Honestly, I'd make a copy of the disc.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I would make a copy of the disc and then just give it to the modding community. Tell them to have at it.
Make a copy
Yep,
of the disc.
that's what I would do.
And make a copy of the disc, give the original back to Blizzard, and once all that's settled down, sell the copy online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
It's
be the
why
smart thing to do.
Yeah, it's why I think it's why I always had mixed opinions on this story. Yeah, sure. Morally, returning it was probably the best idea, but practically not so much, considering, well, we could have had the entire source code of StarCraft out there, and modders could easily have spun it into gold.
Turned it into something even more playable.
True.
I mean, look at what the modding community did for the old Red Alert games.
Yeah, I need to play those
Yeah.
games at some point.
I need to get some mods for my Red Alert games. I love Red Alert.
Never played it.
Red Alert Command and Conquer series, military, alternate universe military based.
It was
Okay,
alternate
that's
history
good.
before it was cool.
Yeah, alternate
Yeah.
history before it was cool, where an alien took over Russia, and then the That's how the original Command and Conquer series came to be.
Well, the Red Alert series takes place in an alternate Second World War, where, no joke, Albert Einstein creates a time machine, goes back in time, removes Adolf fucking Hitler from the timeline.
Yep.
And instead of Germany being the focal point of World War II, it's the Allied nations, led by Germany, going up against Russia.
Yeah,
Yep.
surprisingly, a surprisingly realistic outcome for a over-the-top game series.
Oh yeah,
It's kind of fun. It's kind of funny. I'm reminded of a comic where a character time traveled frequently, ended up in World War II era Germany, and he asked a question to another time travel. So if there's so many time travelers around, how come no one's tried to go back in time and kill Hitler? And she responds, "They've tried. It's just the time stream corrects itself and undoes their efforts." Look over
Honestly, I
look at
kind
those
of
guys over
prefer
there. They're-
Subnormality's take on the Hitler assassination plot, where two Nazi officers are guarding Hitler's quarters, and one asks if they're really doing the right thing, and then a time traveler shows up, and the punchline is, the time traveler is killed by them, and then the punchline is, with all these time travelers trying to kill him, you gotta start asking questions.
Yeah.
Here's the question:
And then
how do we know? How do we know there aren't time travelers among us already? Well, I know why. Because it's pretty much impossible to travel back in time.
Or maybe it is an alternate, but alternate timelines are actually a thing, and no one could, and those tend to be very messy.
Yeah.
I hold a belief that in the void between worlds, time doesn't matter. You're basically in the fourth dimension.
Actually, I think that was
And
ultimately
then-
confirmed by the boss.
Basically, when you're in the fourth dimension, you can go anytime, any place you want to.
It's
You're
just generally not
Literally in the
recommended
fourth
because
dimension, and yes,
it is not recommended because time travel is a finicky thing, even in stories.
oh yes. To make matters worse, I've heard tale of stories of Eidolons coming from different dimensions, and time work differently in different dimensions. Some dimensions time's going reverse to ours.
We should probably move on before we give our viewers a brain aneurysm.
I don't think they're ready to
to.
find out that we were technically the reason clowns are a thing.
Never see the light of day again.
Wait, what?
It's like finding a missing child and
Don't worry
returning them back to
about
their
it.
parents,
Nothing.
only for them to go
Nothing.
right back into
Spoony.
fighting them, which is how they got lost in the first place. StarCraft is one of the best RTS games ever made. Never played it. But if the source code had been dumped online, they would have done something with it. Remember when that massive Nintendo leak happened a few years ago, and Mario 64's source code got uploaded online? Guess what's happened since then? People did something with it. The game got rebuilt and redid over and over again. It was like unlocking Mario 64's third eye. It got a native PC port. People started adding brand new features and graphics to the game. They started porting it to several other consoles that weren't the Nintendo 64. The ROM hacking scene for the game grew immensely,
Yeah, I think there's
and
even,
people have done insane things with the game now that they have the source
Let's
code
see,
available.
what's it called?
It's an almost
Analog horror
30-year-old game,
with it
and the modding
now.
scene behind it is insane because of its source code being available. That same thing could have happened to StarCraft, but because this guy gave it back to Blizzard, that's never going to happen now. But I can't really blame the guy too much, because obviously he didn't know what he had. He saw a potential legal threat breathing down his neck, and the guy probably buckled under pressure. I can't be too mad, which is what I would be saying, if not for the fact the guy got super defensive over his decision. Not defending himself though, because if there's one thing that Redditors love more than being unfunny, it's blowing off a company, for completely free. At least I get paid for mine. This man will go on to defend Blizzard's right to bully him out of what he had.
It's a grifter joke here.
Going off on anybody who told him he screwed up giving this back to them. And well, soon his entire Reddit account would go quiet after a few years. The biggest mistake he made was posting this to Reddit of all places, and says it was one of a kind, trace it back to his account, and hold him responsible for leaking their source code if it actually happened. This will probably remain one of the biggest blunders in game preservation history. He could have posted it somewhere else anonymously, or sold or gave it to someone who knew what they were doing. And speaking of selling, you'd think having the source code to a multi-million-dollar making game would be worth a lot of money, and well, it is. And do you think our guy Chemist49 got a nice cash prize for returning something this valuable? Well, of course not. But he didn't leave empty-handed. Would you like to see what they sent him for returning StarCraft's source code? This is what he got.
Wow.
He got a bunch of Blizzard merchandise, a fucking bottle opener, $250 in Blizzard store credit so he can buy more of their products, and also a free trip to BlizzCon 2017 to have drinks with a bunch of developers at Blizzard so they can sniff their own farts. So overall, estimating everything here, maybe
not worth it.
800 or 900 or so bucks of value here. And in return, for all that, he just gave them the source code back on one of the most important RTS games of all time. That's all. Fair trade-off, if you ask me. Oh, but don't think he got ripped off. According to him, they offered him nothing at all originally, so he'll take it. Actually, now that I think about it, do you think this guy had the time of his life there? And then do you think he had such a great time with the developers that he decided to go to BlizzCon next year? I wonder how that BlizzCon went.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Is it?
Hey, listen, I gotta pad this video out, but I still think this one deserves a mention. And in this one, I can laugh at fans of the Pokemon trading card game. How's things holding out for you, fellas? I am so happy that I'm not a fan of this card game, seeing how dire things are for you who are actually into it. The entire market for the Pokemon TCG has been absolutely flooded with scalpers, who will raid a store and buy up every packet they have to sell at inflated prices. And yes, some are very willing to pay. The Pokemon trading card game is now basically seen as a get-rich-quick scheme by a lot of people, who probably have no real interest in the game itself. But enough about scalpers, we gotta talk about the things usually seen in these trading card games, those extremely rare and valuable cards that are heavily sought after.
Sorry, I was trying to close a program so I can
holy grails, if you will.
Get more.
And of course, the Pokemon TCG has a few. For a 1999 Japanese tournament, each one of the top 3 prize winners were all given a very special card for making it there. And these cards are some of the rarest and most sought after cards in the game's history. But the one to focus on is the coveted Trainer number 3, which was given to the 3rd place winners. There is estimated to be less than 10 of these in existence, and if you ever find them being sold online, they are going to be for prices well into the 5-digit territory. Tens of thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands of dollars for shiny cardboard.
Yeah, this story actually gets, insanely, stupid and and it's jarringly relatable.
Oh,
You're probably...
Oh, no.
Yeah. Get ready to be pissed off.
In 2018, one of these coveted cards went up for auction on eBay, and seeing how it's an extremely rare and valuable card, collectors quickly flocked to it. As the auction went on, the price reached a staggering $60,000. 60 grand? Oh my god, that's a month's worth of rent in California! It was won by a guy in Dubai, and the card belonged to some guy in Iowa, so that would mean it would have to make a pretty long trip around the globe to get to its final destination. I don't know about you, but if I blew 60 grand on a Pokemon card and had to be shipped to me from a different continent, I would be chewing my fingernails down to the bone until it got to me. Hell, I wouldn't even risk it. And well, you're about to see why that is. So the guy in Dubai waited a few days for the card to arrive, and then the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months. But the card never arrived. He was now $60,000 in the hole, with nothing to show for it. As the original seller was contacted.
Yep. It's the classic story of shit gets lost in the mail.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I hate that.
Did he ship it by UPS?
Yeah, probably.
Or
I
USPS?
relate to this far too well. I sold a copy of Silent Hill 2 for the PlayStation at one time, and the package got lost. Like, straight up lost. No one ever heard from him again.
I remember I did a contest on my for Affinity one year, and somebody won it, and I sent them a bunch of games that I had extras of, and within like a couple of weeks, the parcel was returned, and instead of the games, there was like a medical book in the box, and then the person that won the contest tried to message me and say, yeah, you didn't send anything, you didn't send games to me, you sent me a random book. And I'm just like, I got pictures, bitch.
Yeah.
Because I took pictures of me boxing up the parcel and sending it out.
Yeah, this story actually gets a little bit of conspiratorial, mainly because of the details behind the package getting lost. But there's also a bit of a caveat to that story. So let's let MagicMush.
And it turns out they did indeed ship it to them. They weren't withholding it or scamming him. As then their eyes turned to the post offices and shipping companies. Well, it turns out, after a thorough investigation, that 60 grand card had somehow gotten lost in the mail, and they were doing everything they could to find it, but alas, their searches turned up nothing. And so the guy from Dubai ended up suing the Middle Eastern shipping company that was supposed to get the card to him. Now let's backtrack a bit, because that whole...
I actually don't remember the outcome of that lawsuit, so probably look that
I
up
think
later.
they settled out of court.
Yeah, sounds
Chances
about
are
right.
they probably settled out of court.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Lost in the mail bit is really mostly a cover-up. What most people think was somebody saw the card, saw how valuable and sought after it was, and fucking stole it. This was an extremely rare card. It had been sold to a guy on a completely different continent, and throughout the postage history, someone else into Pokemon trading cards just so happened to find what they had, and took it before it could reach its final destination. The average person is not really going to know that this random trading card is worth more than their car. And you could probably say, well, they probably saw how expensive it was and wanted to sell it off. They probably didn't care about the card itself. But remember...
Yeah, this is where that theory kinda falters a little bit. Because, this card being expensive kinda makes selling this a massive liability.
Yeah. Especially when the eBay listing is up to like almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Remember, there are supposed to be less than 10 of these on the entire planet. They don't come along often at all. You can probably track down who owns all the current cards. If some random guy goes online to sell the card out of nowhere, something isn't going to add up, and people are probably going to find out it was stolen. Unless they do some back alley deals in person, but the stars would have to align to make that kind of sale. If someone knows what the card is worth, then they also probably know it was stolen. I mean, you can't just really sell this to any random schmuck walking down the street. Imagine walking into a dark alleyway at night, seeing a guy in a trench coat, and he walks up to you and asks,
Psst, hey kid, wanna buy a $60,000 Pokemon card?
Ah, Mr. Interjust
whoever
here.
stole this, they might have been a collector and wanted the card for themselves. So just like that, an extremely rare Trainer number 3 card is gone. And to this very day, it's still missing. No one knows what happened to it, and it's probably going to stay that way. Overall, my final conclusion is, if you like the Pokemon trading card game in any way, shape, or form, nothing but suffering awaits you in the future.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't really play the Pokemon game. I just like collecting cards relating to my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It checks out.
I heard they actually attempted to make scalping Yu-Gi-Oh! A thing, but apparently some Yu-Gi-Oh! Influencers actually he trolled the investor bros and make them buy up a bunch of useless card sets. Yeah,
let's get back to the action.
Yeah, this one's gonna be short, but it's gonna be darkly funny.
Reddit has returned for round 2. This time caused not the threats of legal action, but instead sheer simple stupidity. A random post would suddenly appear on the subreddit PC Master Race about a guy who turned an old Xbox development kit into his own personal rig, which, you know, people are showing off their battle stations on Reddit all the time, and this guy just wanted to show off. Just another dime a dozen post. That is, until people took a closer look at said development kit and realized this wasn't some run-of-the-mill dev kit. This was an Xbox Alpha 1.
Yep.
Oh god.
Some idiot managed to make a PC out of an alpha dev kit. I don't think he preserved anything.
The Xbox Alpha 1 was the very first developer kit for the Xbox. It was what some of the most influential games were built on, and were probably used by the highest-end developers at Microsoft. And it's estimated there are only about 50 of these in existence. These things are extremely
49
rare.
now.
And somehow, a caveman got hold of one, and not only did he not know of its value, he then proceeded to gut the entire thing and stick subpar PC parts into it just to get some Reddit upvotes. Not only was it a piece of gaming history, but he didn't even completely check the hard drive before he formatted it, or do any research before trying to stick things that didn't belong inside of it. What this means is, there could have been valuable info inside this thing. Many people have gotten hold of development kits and found some really interesting stuff inside of them. Some people have found entire unreleased games and prototypes on abandoned dev kits, and we'll never know what was inside this one because
trust me, we're all
Reddit
foaming at the mouth.
I will give the Redditors on this subreddit some credit though. When the PC Master Race guys fully processed what he had done, they did not hold back. They went absolutely ham on this guy, telling him how
Yeah. I think I'd be posting comments there too.
Not me. If I know about this.
Me just casually sipping on tea.
Recreation's gonna stab a bitch.
Sasha, put the knife down.
Absolutely brain-dead stupid he was to destroy a piece of gaming history like this. Now, yes, there was nothing morally wrong done here. It was his property, he could have done anything he wanted with it, but it's the fact this guy did zero research on the thing he had and then gutted it for karma. Not only that, but in an attempt to save face, he kept all the other parts just in case they happened to be valuable, as he then proceeded to put said fragile parts on carpet. Okay, is this guy a troll? It has to be. If you're building PCs, you should know never put the parts on carpet because they conduct static electricity and can short them out.
Yeah, I barely know how to build a PC myself, and I know this.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Out. Later on, the guy would even try to put the joke/satire tag on it, and then later just delete his entire post and his entire account, but we already saw the damage he did. Needless to say, this thing ain't worth a damn anymore. I mean, who just takes an old Xbox dev kit, goes, wow, that's cool, I should totally rip all of its components out and shove some crap that doesn't belong inside? You couldn't find another PC case online that could meet your quota? Or was the idea of using this old dev kit for Reddit karma too enticing for you? Whatever. What happened, happened, and we can't really change the past.
Yeah.
Do you notice how it says satire/joke right by the name of the Red subreddit?
Yeah, I think he's trying to save face. Everyone was just roasting him in the comments. Pretty sure that's just,
I hope so, because if that's a big oversight, holy shit. Sasha, do we need to get you some Fireball?
Yes.
Don't worry, I already have a stash for her.
Can't we? That's kind of the point of this video. Next.
Okay, this one's actually a bit of a funny story.
The what now?
The early 2010s. For those of you who are old,
Trust me, this gets very funny, and despite the subject matter, no bronies were actually harmed in the production of this section.
What if I wanted bronies to get harmed in this section, though?
Prepare to be disappointed.
Damn it.
enough to have object permanence back then, it was a very interesting time.
I'm pretty sure they
Does
still don't
anyone
have
else remember when you
object
couldn't
permanence.
escape the grasp of Friendship is Magic during this time period? I mean, yeah, it was a breakout show. It exploded in popularity online. You couldn't escape that shit. Anywhere you looked, there it was in some capacity. In memes, in art, it just took over the internet for a while. Many guys from all walks of life, all political factions, came together for this horse show, and some with various different hobbies on top of that. And one of those hobbies also included gun customization. One day, a picture of a rifle started circulating online.
Yeah, oddly enough.
It just looks like some dorky gun collector decided to pimp out his rifle to show his love to...
Can I just get you to pause for a sec?
Yeah.
If I went to a gun range and somebody pulled out a Glock that was customized with Pinkie Pie, I am walking out of that gun range because I don't trust that person with the Pinkie Pie Glock.
Yeah, well,
Jeez.
chances
Well, there
are
are some deranged people in this world.
Yeah, and from what I can tell, most gun collectors who use ponies as their customizations are usually just people who do it ironically.
Look, it's bad enough I see people with Teslas with the My Little Pony stuff splattered all over them.
Ew.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's people dumb enough to put ponies on the Nazi car.
Hey.
Ray, please.
Alright.
Let's move on.
I got that out of my system. I'm sorry. Let's continue.
Nazis are still going to be involved with this
Appreciation
story,
for Rainbow
unfortunately.
Dash. But when this image made its way to V on an Indonesian quilting image board, as you can see, the posts on here are not happy. In fact, they are fucking furious. Why is that, you may ask? Well, that's because it was believed that this was not just some random rifle. Apparently, this was a Carabiner 98 from World War II. If you don't know, the Carabiner 98 was actually originally created for use in World War II by the Germans. I wonder what group was using weapons in Germany in World War II. So that would make this...
Trust me, this story gets funnier. Just bear with it.
Ye gods!
Wait a sec. Some random brony got a Nazi gun and put Rainbow Dash on it?
Wow, what the fuck? Rainbow Dash would beat the shit out of that guy.
That's what's assumed to be the case, but trust me, this story's gonna get funny. I assure you.
It better, because I'm about to have an aneurysm from this.
Gun, one of the first ever made of its kind, making it extremely rare and valuable. It's one of the most sought-after rifles by collectors and historians. Basically, this is something that belongs in a museum, and this guy just slapped Rainbow Dash on top of it. After World War II was over, they collected most of the weapons from the Nazis and either destroyed them or they were seized by the Allied powers. You don't see these pop up too often since they were supposed to be scrap metal. But some did manage to slip under the radar, and now this guy had one, making him 20% cooler than you. That's why all these guys are pissed. It's not just a random gun, it's a piece of history. The thing about this story is, a lot of the details about it aren't really that well known. The gun itself is well known, and it's constantly brought up as an example of fandoms going too far and desecrating a piece of history for My Little Pony. It's not even a good customization either, it's just a shitty blue paint job and had a sticker slapped on it.
Yeah,
I
what
was
the
determined to
fuck?
find the actual origin of this story and find out. Was
let's
this
be
really a
honest,
World
you
War
could
II
just
relic? How did he even get his hands on something this
fucking
rare? A lot of this stuff
sand
had been
that
lost to
thing.
time, but I did enough digging and found out. It seems all of this did originate from the K-boards, as it seems the guy who painted it went by the trip named the Jack-O-Lantern. And from the way he posted and spoke about it, it seems this really wasn't the result of a diehard My Little Pony fan wanting to express their love for the show, but more so someone who got a hold of something rare and defaced it purely to piss off the K-boards. Later on, another trip friend would buy the gun from him and restore it, removing all the shitty blue paint and the sticker, only to find out this wasn't a World War II relic. This was a Mitchell's Mauser, if you don't know, because I sure didn't. A Mitchell's Mauser was when a company called Mitchell's Arms got a hold of some post-World War II guns, scrubbed any and all traces of their origins, and then attempted to sell them to collectors. This was not a
Yep. This entire thing was a bootleg paint job to piss off a image board.
You cut out a bit there, Picket.
Oh,
Got real fuzzy.
yeah, this entire thing was basically this entire custom job was basically to a bootleg artifact just to piss off an image board.
Oh, so it wasn't a real Nazi gun.
Nope, it was a bootleg.
Nope. So hang on. So you got a bootleg of a Nazi gun that got repainted with Rainbow Dash by some troll who wanted to piss off the bronies even more.
No, it was the image board they wanted to piss off.
Oh, okay. Alright. Awesome.
The dude
Why
wasn't
are we
even a
letting
fan
these
of
people live?
My Little Pony. The dude was just a genuine troll. Like, old-fashioned image board troll.
You know, in all honesty, this is all kinds of messed up, and it says a lot about the pony community and the brony community. However, I am then reminded that there were members of the pony community who made their pony sonas with Nazi imagery, so...
Yeah, but that's been a problem in the furry community for ages.
I know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I
hate it.
It's just people trying to be edgy, just like edgy goths trying to use the upside down cross. They don't know it's a symbol of Saint Peter.
Look, I'm all for edgy humor, and I'm all for, like, the edginess and everything else. But there's edgy, and then there's painting your own anti-Semitism on your shoulder for all to see.
Yeah. Really wearing their heart on their fucking sleeve, I swear to God.
I mean, it's less them wearing their heart on their sleeve and more, hey guys, I'm a raging asshole! Punch my face like I'm Joe Rogan.
In other words, trashy.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Alright,
there's plenty of
let's,
those on the internet.
Let's keep going before Ray gets his head exploded.
Too late.
From his
What? Is there a-
King World War II artifact. It was more than likely some Frankenstein abomination the original owner got for cheap. Apparently he gave it to him for a fucking $1. I don't even think the guy cared about it that much in the first place. So yeah, it turns out, after all these years, the gun was a complete fake. The worst part about it is, I can't even use this info to slate our Rainbow Dash fans. You win this round, but
Dude, you still have the infamous jar. You can still piss on them.
We don't talk about the jar.
Oh god, what did Jar do this time?
You don't want to know, Ray. You don't want to know.
You don't
The
know.
other jar-related thing,
No.
the one related to Rainbow Dash.
No, I'm serious, Ray. You really do not want to know.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Is it worse than the
get
City
you
Bear
bastards
shit?
next time.
Worse, yes.
Oh fuck.
I want to talk about something
What
that's
is
been on
this?
my mind for a while. In a lot of cases involving media,
One of the
there are
last
people out there
good
who want to make them
videos.
widely accessible to the public so anyone can enjoy them. But in some cases, there are those who wish to keep these items to themselves. Having a one-of-a-kind thing is really neat in a way, but it takes on a different form when that item was meant to be massively distributed, and that never ended up happening. When it comes to lost media, there are so many cases where we have confirmation some of the media does exist in some format, but its last trace in the world is tied to one prototype or item, and that prototype is in the hands of someone who doesn't want the rest of the world to have it.
And the best part is, you can't come!
There are so many pieces of media that are simply lost because the person owning the one copy of it in existence wants to keep it to themselves, and this happens a lot more than you would think. There really isn't a name for this act, but I've dubbed it media squatting. I've heard some people use the term locked media instead, but media squatting is a lot funnier and it fits how ridiculous the entire concept is. Media squatting, especially when it comes to archivists and lost media enthusiasts, is usually frowned upon, but one must ask, Why are they doing this in the first place? Well, it's simple. If they upload the media online, then what they have stops being special. It's no longer as valuable as it once was.
I mean, I really don't get that mentality. I mean, sure, it's available to the media net, to everyone else now, but I still have the original copy. That thing is still mine.
Yeah.
Since anyone can watch or play it now, it being available to anyone ruins the factor of being the only one in existence to have it. I briefly touched on this topic several years ago in one of my oldest videos, but as a refresher, there was a game called Bioforce Ape that was considered for several years to be completely fake. It never came out, its concept sounded so insane it could never be real, and one of the only places acknowledging its existence was an April issue of Nintendo Power, and most just assumed it was an April Fool's joke. Well, in 2005, a supposed ROM of the game surfaced online, with the guy uploading screenshots of the game to show off its supposed realness. Well, then after this came out, half of the people wanted him to dump the game online, and the other half wanted him to keep it to himself, since the prototype was potentially worth thousands and wanted to keep its value. Well, too long didn't read, the ROM turned out to be a fake, he pretended to smash it, and then years later, an actual ROM of the game showed up on eBay, the game was bought and then dumped, Bioforce Ape was real after all. There are many bits of gaming, film, and music, little pieces of history that are being held by just one person, and they have no intentions on letting anyone else enjoy it. Still, I need to acknowledge that it's their property, they can do with it whatever they please, they have no real obligation to upload them online. But you have to understand, all of these are an aging physical media. One day, the thing they're stored on is going to die, and then it's lost forever. Archivists want them uploaded online so they can live on forever in some form, but even taking this into consideration, some still refuse to part with their valuables.
Yeah, they're called game companies.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, EA, Blizzard, Activision, this is the reason why everybody hates you idiots.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Also-
People don't like you.
It's also part of the reason why the Stop Killing Games movement is still around.
Yep. Despite Pirate Software trying to kill it.
Fucking asshole. Like, what
I
the
know.
fuck, dude?
Yeah, to think that was only the final nail in his coffin.
I haven't heard anything new relating to Pirate Software. Whatever happened?
I think I saw something recently. Something like he had popped it back up.
He tried to make a return, but then, like, people wouldn't let him return. And more of his dirty laundry came to light.
Oh.
And apparently, like, a lot of the stuff that he was famous for, like, his time with Blizzard, was actually more bullshit than anything.
Really? I thought he was a Nepo baby.
Well, that too, but his main job at Blizzard was a playtester, and he didn't even do that half the time. Like, one of his coworkers exposed that instead of doing his job, he would spend the day on Reddit.
Yeah, to think that weird furry roleplay cringe involving him was the least cringy thing about him.
Yeah, really.
Quite the accomplishment, honestly. Yeah, back to this.
Look, Pirate Software, just admit you're a furry. People already hate you. They can't hate you anymore.
Oh, but they can.
Alright. Back to the show.
There was a case involving an extremely rare arcade cabinet from Atari called Aka-R from 1982. Only 3 of these things are known to exist. Only 3 of them, and all in the hands of private collectors who aren't willing to part with it. And since they don't want to part with it, it's quite strange when the ROM of this extremely rare game shows up online. Now, how did this happen? Well, it's never been confirmed, but it's been rumored some archivists posed as arcade technicians to come work on the game, and then stole the ROM data and uploaded it online without the owner knowing. And the owner was beyond pissed about this, if this was really true. Like I said, it's never been officially confirmed if this happened, but it would be really funny and amazing if it did. And of course...
Yeah, I kind of usually have skepticism involving rumors like that. I mean, let's not forget Super 3D Noah's Ark had a rumor going around that it just gave them the source code to just piss off Nintendo. Which, while funny, turned out to be a hoax, so...
Well, I mean, to play Super Noah's Ark 3D, you had to insert an actual SNES game into the top of it.
Yeah. But, yeah, it ultimately turned out that the company just paid for the license from it to use the source code from id, and yeah, they just bootlegged everything else. Kind of weird when you think about it.
Of course, last year, there was a big breakthrough in the Lost Media community that caused a massive amount of drama, and that would be the unearthing of the Lost Backyardigans pilot. I will never understand why the Lost Media community is so focused on shows made for toddlers.
Yeah, I blame Clockman.
Yeah. Wait, when did Caillou become Lost Media? And can we make it even more lost?
I fucking hope so.
Yes, please.
Just point me in the right direction, and I'll see to it.
We'll let you know.
The pilot for Backyardigans was Lost Media since 1998, and it was noteworthy because its style was completely different from the final show, as it was a live-action affair with puppets and costumes, while the final show was made entirely with CGI. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is, there was a conspiracy to make this pilot unavailable to the public. The admins of the Backyardigans wiki, yes, we have returned to talking about wikis again, had a copy of the pilot for over a decade, and did everything in their power to make sure no one could find it. They were actively sabotaging any attempts to discover it, including using fake sock puppet accounts, fake email addresses, purposely putting false information on the wiki page to throw people off the trail of the pilot, deleting other wiki pages about the pilot, and even impersonating a lawyer in order to get a video about the pilot taken down. All this for a pilot of a TV show made for literal fucking toddlers! I won't go into much more detail. I recommend go watching Play Metal Jorge's video on it if you want the full story. The lengths some people will go to try and keep what they think is their prized possessions. And just imagine how many pieces of films or TV shows or how many games are out there thought to be truly lost forever, but there's actually one person out there that has the only copy in existence, and they will refuse to part with it until they die. This is a real thing that happens, and will probably continue to happen in the foreseeable future. Just goes to show you what a little bit of value does to people.
Oh boy. Best for last.
What the heck?
Hi, Jesus.
A lot of things involving Christianity, in some way, have been extremely well preserved over the centuries, because when it comes to religion, people are really passionate about preserving that part of something they believe in. Even though a lot try, you can't keep everything for the past intact, though, depending on the circumstances, and in some cases, when it comes to art, you can't really preserve it. Some art made back in the day was not made with the intention people were going to be looking at it for decades, even centuries later. So they were made on or with materials that deteriorate a lot faster than others. And that's exactly what happened with this painting of Christ wearing the crown of thorns.
Wait! I think I know what this is!
I think I know what this is too.
Oh man.
This gives me
gonna
pain!
And
I'm already in pain.
It's painful but hilarious.
Pain! It is! It is! Oh, God.
Translates to
Is this where
Behold the
we
Man.
finally get whitewashed?
This piece was drawn in 1930 by an artist known as Elias Garcia Martinez. And well, if you haven't heard of him, that's because this is probably his most well-known piece. This piece of art isn't even 100 years old yet. Almost there, but throughout its history, it was not preserved well. It sat in a church in Borja, Spain, and as time passed, the painting had started to deteriorate. Its beauty was being lost to time, and someone decided to step up and do something about it. In 2012, a woman by the name of Cecilia Jimenez had decided to restore the painting herself. An 80-year-old woman, she wasn't even a professional, she just painted in her free time, with apparently permission by the priest and other people from the church, as she decided to give it a fresh coat of paint. She turned this painting into this.
Oh, Dios
What happened?
mío.
It looks absolutely nothing like the original
Why?
painting. If you were to tell me this was supposed to be
Give me
Jesus Christ,
back
I would not believe you. Every detail has been completely changed. The crown of thorns he was wearing is next to non-existent now. She de-evolved Jesus Christ. He died for our sins.
Bob Ross. It kind of looks like she turned into Bob Ross.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Painful,
He
but
painted happy
it's
little
funny.
tree for her sins. That is what's going through my mind. He painted happy little trees for our sins. Oh my god! It looks like Jesus Christ Bob Ross edition.
Oh man!
God.
No wonder.
It hurts to
God,
laugh.
this hurts.
It does. It really does hurt. Oh my god.
I thought they were just going to do a bad job restoring the image. I didn't think that they
Was
were
that
going
not
to
enough for
paint
you?
over it
This
like
was near
some
unrecognizable from the original painting, and the local town was quick to take notice. Some residents posted the artwork on a blog, where it quickly spread like wildfire throughout the internet. I mean, there were memes everywhere about it. It garnered the nickname
even
Potato
saw
Jesus.
them.
You saw it edited into other pieces of art. You saw it plastered everywhere. It was the most interesting form of destruction. It was turned into something else entirely, what resembled nothing about the original, but people flocked to it and all.
I hate it.
I hate it.
Put a picture of it in.
I still love those
Oh
memes,
my
but
lord.
oh man.
Ray, I swear to God, if you decide to post this in my office, I am kicking you all the way to hell.
Hey Victor, I think you, Saratsu wants a copy of the Potato Jesus painting. And plastered it on all over the plastered it on all of his walls for good measure.
You know what? Just for that, we're turning it into his new wallpaper.
Oh!
Good luck, Saratsu. I wish you the best.
I'm suplexing you both into Mount Etna.
Worth it. He was mashed for our sins.
Oh no!
Had the opposite effect the rest of the topics in this video had. Well, yes, it was a piece of old historic artwork destroyed, but it was done so in a way that made people even more interested in it. Oh, and don't think it was all positivity. A lot of people, especially the town she lived in, were absolutely pissed about this.
Until now, she just painted on the tunic, but the problem started when she painted the head as well, because she's destroyed this painting.
Professionals will attempt to fix the botched job, but without a miracle, they will struggle to restore it completely.
And most of the memes were made to specifically laugh at the painting, and especially her. She apparently suffered from a lot of mental and physical health issues when all this was going on. Having the entire world laugh at your failures is probably one of the most heartbreaking things ever. Or you could just be like DSP. The town this painting was held in was a small one, and when this botched painting of Christ took off online, people were coming from all over Europe just to see it. The tourism exploded. It was like they were coming to see a train wreck. This was the most attention this painting had ever gotten, simply because it was fine to look at. The church made pretty good money off of it. The artist had to fight for it, but eventually even she was able to get a cut of the money herself. I mean, she painted over it. And the priest who gave her permission to paint over it was later arrested for touching kids. And as for the original artist, well, he's been dead since 1954, so he wasn't getting anything. But that original painting was still pretty good. Obviously, it's 14 years later, and the impact this painting had is long gone. And apparently, the painting is still there to this very day. It still gets people to come by from time to time to check it out. This is one of the few instances where something from another time getting destroyed actually brought more eyes to it. I mean, honestly, she should have left it alone, or at least given it to an actual professional to work on, but we wouldn't have had a story this funny.
Yeah.
And to cap things off, I found out doing research for this that Cecilia sadly passed away. Very recently, actually. Only a few months ago as of the making of this video.
Oh my
And
God,
now,
they-
this is going to be her legacy.
Hey,
I
can you
think
go
more
back
people are probably
a few
going to remember...
seconds?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, just go back. A little bit more. Alright. Start over.
But we wouldn't have had a story this funny. And to cap things
Just
off,
pause when they
I
bring
found
up
out doing
the,
research for this
when they
that
bring up
Cecilia
the
sadly passed away.
article.
Very
Here we go. Restoration dubbed Monkey Christ. my god!
What the fuck?
I only ever heard it called Potato Jesus.
I think I remember hearing about this from hearing about that article from Sun. He was offended by that article.
I just wanted to double check and make sure I saw what I saw, so... Oh my god.
Oh, you guys.
Very recently, actually. Only a few months ago, as of the making of this video. And well, this is going to be her legacy.
Man.
I think more people are probably going to remember her than the original artist who made the original piece. I hope wherever she may be, she has the ability to tell the original artist, and maybe
like
Crest
someone I
himself,
know.
what a funny
Weird.
story this all ended up being. And so, that's the end of our journey. I apologize if some of these weren't more about human history, like some of you were expecting. And honestly, I was shocked at how little there really was to talk about in that regard. I was expecting to find more stories about people ruining things for selfies, or destroying more stuff for views, but most people either have enough respect for our past than I thought, that or they're a lot more well protected by people who actually care for them. If some people were told if they destroyed something rare and it would give them fame, they would do it in a heartbeat. But others do have some preservation and self-control.
Yeah.
Whether the thing is an artifact from thousands of years ago, or a CD holding the data of a popular video game, everything holds some sort of connection, or will hold some sort of connection to the past. Everything can, and will have some sort of historic value to someone, and there will be people out there looking to preserve it. And maybe someone will look to preserve a part of you that can be remembered. Me? God bless, like and subscribe, and good night.
Me?
Okay,
that's funny.
Oh, and also, don't forget to download Raid Shadow Legends
Okay,
at its 7th
get in.
anniversary with either the QR code or the link down below for all the insane
remember
brawls
hearing
and two-headed champions. Bye.
I remember hearing a story
my name
where
is Julie.
you know how
I'm a Pokemon.
you know how some
Oh my
you know
god.
How,
Oh my god.
do you remember you know how some tourists like to carve their names and their girlfriends' names into stuff?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Someone actually did that on the wall of the Roman Colosseum. They got arrested.
Understandable.
I mean, of course you're gonna get fucking arrested for that shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing, idiot?
Yep.
Yeah, some people are just stupid.
Also, this is from an official Pokemon game, by the way.
Yes! I had this! I had this game!
What game is this?
It's a Pokemon TCG game.
Trainer
that
just
taught
like
you how to play the Pokemon
Stick with
TCG.
me, and together we'll become the greatest Pokemon masters the world has ever seen.
Jay Witz
We're gonna
actually
learn
did a
about
video
the world
on
of
this.
Pokemon, the trading card game. But you can do more than just collect and trade these cards. They're a complete game.
Gotta enjoy
Using
that
the
early
cards,
CG
you can
bullshit.
battle against your friends to become the best there
Yeah,
ever
I didn't I didn't
totally
know
fun.
the old models
So,
from
do you have what it
Rhapsody
takes?
Street Kids
Then
would use for
let's go.
Pokemon.
No! God, her
Fun story.
expression!
Yeah. Alright,
I had that thing.
yeah, that was the MagicMush's video on the destroyed artifacts.
Yep. Dang.
Yeah.
Holy jeez.
Those fucking, well, quote unquote destroyed. One of those things gives me great pain. I fucking hate the company. Why'd they have to be such fucking assholes?
Which
Bleh.
one?
Blizzard.
Yeah,
Okay,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was a Blizzard fan once upon a time. And then he fucking ruined it.
Never
Bastard.
meet your heroes.
Never meet your heroes, kids. They'll only disappoint you.